Have you ever just wondered why we don't like change? Like, what is it about change this just doesn't come easy? I know for most people, when it comes to change, it's life altering. And it's hard to see people struggle with that when it's something that happens regularly anymore. In the world that we live in, change happens frequently. I personally am one that struggled with the change for a long, long time. I took the longest to quit one job to go to the job that I'm in now because I didn't want change. I didn't want to change what I was doing. I didn't want to change my routine. I didn't want to change who I seen every day. I just didn't want that change. It's not something that I looked forward to. And so it was very hard for me. So I know many of you can relate because when I talk to clients, when I talk to friends, when I talk to family, change is something that they're all struggling with. I can tell you that there are ways to reduce the tension or stress or anxiety that comes with change. So, one thing that I want you to know is that if something is changing, there is a reason for change. Whether it be good, bad, indifferent, there is a reason. So, when we are faced with something of that nature, we have to really stop and think about, is this really going to be life altering? Because in reality, most things that change can be something that's worked around. Okay. So let's say that, I don't know, your kid's school decided that they're going to do tutoring at 4:30 p.m. That could be life altering, right? Because if you're at work till 5, are you able to necessarily get them there at 4:30? No, it's going to take work. It's going to take time to find somebody that can step in and help you out. And so, therefore, you have to stop, breathe, and remember it's something that you cannot control. You did not control that. You did not make that happen. It's something that you couldn't have changed. You can't change their schedule. So the best thing to do is start, evaluating and looking at the steps that you need to take to make sure that this happens. Reach out to family, phone a friend, see about the bus route. Can they stay later at the school just so you don't have to make sure that they get back up there? There's things that you can do to help reduce some of that anxiety or worry. And a lot of it is how you initially respond. If you respond in a negative way, it's going to be hard to get through that change all the way through. But if you'll stop and just evaluate the situation, see where you're at, and see what you need to do, you will see that it's a little easier to process that change. Now, why is change hard? It's because, again, like I said, we have our own patterns and routines. Our bodies start working and functioning on the way and the patterns that we're doing. Our sleep schedule is used to the patterns and things that we've been doing. And if any of that is affected, then guess what? It's hard. It's emotionally and mentally hard to change. Now, we don't have to let it conquer us. Like I said, there's ways to work around it, but what do you choose to do? What's your choice of dealing with or, making do with changes? I know that I have seen people that have been into a almost psychosis state because of change. And that's concerning because that they let that change affect them so greatly because they had never planned for anything different. And so I'm not saying have a backup plan for everything, but I am saying that it's often smart to start thinking about, okay, what happens if this happens? Like for example, if I lose my job, my primary job today, I know that I'll be okay. It'll be changed, definitely. I'll have to look at another job. I'll have to purchase my own insurance. There's things that I need to do, but I've already thought about that a little bit. And I'm able to say that if I lost my job today, it would be sad because I would miss the people, and that is it. I would miss my clients, and that is it. But it wouldn't impact me in a negative way because I've already forethought some of that. And you can't do that with everything. You definitely cannot. But again, if you have control of a situation, if you can control your thoughts on it, then definitely grasp and take hold of that and do the best that you can do. Change is sometimes good. Even when you don't think it's good in the moment, you'll see that there's change that can affect you in the long term in such a blessing of a way. Um, for example, let's talk about my stroke, right? It was a change. It was a change that I could not control. There was no indication that I needed to ever think about having a stroke and what my life might look like after that, right? But it did. It created a change in the way I thought. It created a change in the way that I functioned, in the way that I worked, in the way that I worked with people and interacted. It changed the way that I seen. It literally affected me in every way, and it was very negative. But what I did is let that gear me, and now it's something very positive because I had to work so hard and I had to process so much and I had to give 110% of me to get where I am today. And if it wouldn't have been for that, I don't know that I would be in the same situation that I am now. I've always been very grateful for my family and my friends. I've always been grateful for my job and my position, but I don't think people realize I didn't have the memory that I had prior to stroke. I had to struggle and work really hard to get to the point of taking a test and passing it. So the change from my stroke that affected my memory also was a blessing because it allowed me the ability to fight and come back and see where I am today and what I need to do. My vision, it was gone in an instant. Like nobody could have ever prepared me for that change in my life. Very much could have been life altering. And I could have had that outlook, but I didn't. I didn't. So when I woke up and I couldn't see, and I explained this to William, like, hey, I can't see. What I did is I thought, okay. And one of the things that I did when I first realized I couldn't see was I closed my eyes and I said, God, thank you for letting me see the last thing that I seen. And we happened to be in Vegas at the time. And I can remember closing my eyes and seeing the lights that I'd seen the night before. I can remember seeing things as they were the night before. Or I can remember seeing my grandbaby for the last time, or my daughter or my mom. I had those memories and I just closed my eyes and I was like, this is going to be hard, but this is going to be okay. I have the best memories in my head. And that's more than what some people get when they can't see. Some people are born blind, so they never have that opportunity. And that change is life altering, you know? But I feel like because of my mentality around it, because of the first initial thoughts that I had about it were positive, like thank you for what I had and thank you for those memories, those visual memories. I've got this and I'll be okay. I think that was what my soul needed to help me get through that change. And I know that that might be hard to understand, being like, what do you mean, Diane? It it's something that you have to think about. And you have to, when you hear word of change or when something changes, you have to process that change and you have to find a way to bring it into a positive light. Because I promise you, if you can do that before you start worrying, before the anxiety kicks in, before you get nervous or anxious or any of that, it will help you process what's going on and it will help you go through the transition in the change. It will be something that helps regulate you through the situation of change. And again, is it good that I had a stroke? No. But is it good? Was the outcome good? Was what happened after good? Has the memories been amazing since then? Yes. I can answer yes to all of those. And I don't know that I could do that with every change for sure. But for every change in my life, I have had the ability to stop and think about the possibilities of something good or positive in that situation, in that moment. I believe that we really can have a big impact on what we think, feel, and do, of course. And I think that if you are one that has the negative thought processes and you go straight to that, your ability to function and deal and process and go through change is going to be harder than that of somebody that has a positive outlook, that is able to go with the flow. So if you were to ask me, how can you go through change so easily? It's not easy. It's still a process. It's just that I choose to look at change as a positive thing, you know? I could tell you today, even if, knock on wood, this doesn't happen. If I was to go homeless tomorrow, my thought process would be, at least I still have the ability to get into another house. At least I still have my family. At least I still have the ability to walk and talk and eat. There would be some positive outlook to that I could find. But it's because of that's where I put my mindset. I took those first initial few minutes. I kind of just took some breaths. I thought about it. I processed what was going to change, and then I just went with it. And therefore, that situation seems to be a little bit lighter. And I think that it's important for people in general to realize that in the instant something can change, especially when you have no control over it. So it's really good to think about, in this moment before you're in the middle of a change, before you're in the middle of that crisis of change, what would I do if something changed today? Maybe you need to identify something. What would I do if I lost my job? What would I do if I lost my house? What would I do if, my dog died or, anything like that? What would I do? And if you think about that, even though it could be hard thinking about it today, it will help you in the moments when you need help with processing change. It will be easier in the long run. So, just some tips with that because I do have people ask me often, like, how are you so positive through change? That's how. My first thought process is just to stop. I had processed the change, process what they did, process what I've been told, and then go from there to make it the best situation. So I hope that helps. I hope you guys are having a great evening. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day. Bye, guys.